Death at Gallows Green. Chapter 22. A chapter of accidents. Earl of Chesterfield. Letter to his son, 16th of February, 1753. Eleanor Marston Fairley was in a dilemma. She had arrived at Marston Manor the evening before in the company of her husband, the rather dull company of her husband, it had to be admitted. She had come with the full intention of laying her discovery of the theft of her mother's emeralds before Sir Charles Sheridan, whom she knew to be a man of great logical ability and an acute observer of human nature. But this proved to be impossible, for when Eleanor had come downstairs to dinner that night, she learned that Sir Charles had gone to Dedham to spend the evening at the vicarage. Frustrated and feeling that she could no longer carry the knowledge by herself, the guilty knowledge, for she had by this time convinced herself that if she had not accidentally left the safe unlocked, Lawrence would not have yielded to temptation. She took the opportunity to approach her brother Bradford after Papa and Mamma and Ernest had gone upstairs to bed. Bradford, 10 years Eleanor's senior, was an extremely handsome man with large blue eyes, blonde hair, side whiskers, and a charming smile. But the smile and charm were singularly absent just now. He was standing in front of the fireplace in the library, staring at the flames, with his hands in his pockets and a dark, brooding look on his face. "I need to speak with you, Bradford," Eleanor said, "on a matter of great importance." She spoke diffidently. Since the events of the weeks before, she and Bradford had not been on the best of terms. She had been dreadfully sorry that Ernest had refused Bradford's request for a loan, because it had seemed quite reasonable to her. But the money was Ernest's, of course, and Bradford should not be angry with her merely because she had been forced to convey her husband's refusal. But then Bradford had seemed distant and angry a great deal of late. She did not expect him to share his feelings with her, however. The two of them had never been close. They were too distant in age for that, and Bradford had been sent away to school, while Eleanor and her younger sister Patsy received their desultory, piecemeal education from various governesses. And of course Bradford was a son, the only son, and had always known that he would carry on the Marston baronetcy and the Marston traditions. He hadn't seemed too welcome to that responsibility, and for over a decade had resisted his mother's efforts to find a suitable wife for him. But he must come to his senses soon, Eleanor knew, and seek a bride. And if her suspicions were accurate, his choice had fallen upon Kate Ardley. Eleanor was sure she was right, for she had seen him look at Kate with speculative interest when they were together. From her brother's point of view, it would seem a good match. Kate was a lovely woman, a bit old perhaps at 27, but still quite pretty with all that russet hair, and wealthy enough now that she had inherited Bishop's Keep. Her estate bordered the Marston lands along the north and would extend them considerably. And from Eleanor's point of view, the match was a romantic one, for Kate was her friend and an American, and quite the most lively and adventurous woman Eleanor had ever known. But it could not be Kate that Bradford was thinking of just now, for there was a fierce look in his eyes and his brows had come together. Love did not make a man look so stern. "What is it, Ellie?" he growled. I have discovered something dreadful," she said. "I should have told Mamma or Papa straight away, but I didn't, and now I wish I had. But I shall tell you, and perhaps we can decide what to do." Bradford scowled at her. "Whatever are you carrying on about?" Eleanor pulled in her breath. "It's Mamma's emeralds. They're missing." Bradford stared at her, his scowl deepening. "How do you know that?" he demanded brusquely. "Have you been snooping in a safe?" No, of course not," Eleanor said too quickly. She had not been snooping exactly, although she admitted to having browsed through Mamma's diamond and pearl cases, admiring the stones that would one day be shared between her and Patsy. "She had loaned the emeralds to me, and I returned all but the tea ring. When I opened the safe to return the ring as well, I discovered that the box was gone." Bradford gave her a sidelong glance. "You did not speak of this to Mamma." "No, She caught her lower lip between her teeth. She had concealed the truth too long. It was best to confess it all without any reservation. "I very much fear, Bradford, that I am at fault." To her surprise, Bradford threw back his head and laughed, not a very nice laugh at that. "You!" he exclaimed. "Yes, you are indeed at fault, you little goose, grievously at fault. If you had not—" But Bradford did not finish his sentence. He was interrupted by the butler Howard, a tall, haughty man of impeccable speech and dress. He bore an envelope on a silver tray. "A telegram for you, sir," he said, bowing. "Thank you, Howard," Bradford said, and the butler withdrew. Eleanor watched her brother open the envelope and saw his face change, grow even darker than before. Swiftly and angry, he wadded up the paper, threw it on the fire, and flung himself into an armchair. "What is it, Bradford?" Eleanor asked anxiously. But her brother did not answer her, and after a few moments Eleanor quietly stole from the room, leaving him as she had found him, staring into the fire.